More!
Lunch break! Today we have Brandon eating here with us.
You might recognize Brandon from Wong Fu sketches and movie, Everything Before Us.
And most recently, he's actually going to be in Yappy as well. This is also a really special episode because shout out to our care holders from our Patreon page. We're live streaming this. This is the first time we've ever done a lunch break live stream. They're going to see the unedited version, basically.
Yes.
Not like we ever edit our lunch breaks. We talk for exactly 12 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and we jump.
And we all talk like this. All
Yeah, you guys do that really well.
Today we're talking about the changes of YouTube and how it's so different. Because when Wong Fu first started, none of this was around.
I remember YouTube first started was like a lot of bedroom stuff. People in their bedroom just shooting, singing, and dancing and stuff.
Not that bedroom.
Okay, no one was thinking that.
See, that will make it in the cut. Or maybe it will.
There was a lot of people that just had talent that wanted to show what they could do, right? Then DSLRs came out, right? And everyone, it was about like making really good image quality and stuff. And now I feel like we're back to like, just make good content, just be a good personality or something engaging.
So what do you think is the difference with the vlogging now versus vlogging then?
I think there's just more of it now.
Okay.
Well, because of the algorithm, it changed due to engagements. A lot of them are more big and a lot more dramatic and like really catching your attention instantly. A lot of them are louder, a lot more special.
Clickbait? You mean
Clickbait as well.
shock and awe and sensationalism?
Yeah, a lot of that.
But do you not watch channels that do that? Because you've told me this before. You follow a guy named Ethan H3H3.
H3H3, big fan. Papa bless.
What is that? Yeah, what does that mean?
So much words.
His channel is kind of like online journalism. It's definitely,
online journalism?
it's kind of like online TMZ.
Okay.
And I got to admit, I understand that a lot of it is kind of gossip mongering.
Okay.
But I can't deny the fact that he puts out quality content. He's an actual comedian. His shit's actually funny.
Okay.
And I can tell that deep inside, he's actually a good person.
Dude, you're a fanboy.
Yeah, but
Okay.
at the same time, I see videos kind of like TMZ, and I don't feel like there's really a soul in there. They're not speaking up for anything good.
Let's just go through like some of like the big issues I think that the YouTube community and especially like the YouTube creators complain about.
Going back to the beginning, YouTube was just a platform where people uploaded videos, right? So YouTube as a company needed what, server space to hold this
All these videos.
all these files.
It's expensive.
Right, so that costs money, so then they need to put up ads. The reason people are watching YouTube is because of the content. So then YouTube ended up giving a portion of that revenue back to the creators in the form of AdSense.
Which was
right?
unheard of before that.
No other social platform was sharing their ad revenue, but YouTube was the first. So it's a nice symbiotic relationship. YouTube behind the screen is this algorithm, right? And I feel like it's always like easy to just talk about this thing as like this soulless thing, but ultimately it's humans that are trying to program like an artificial intelligence to know what videos should be suggested to you, what videos should get the most ad revenue, things like that, the most engagement. That's not easy, right? That's seriously sounds like magic, right? When there's algorithm changes, a lot of the times it affects channels in terms of like who finds their channel. If they get less suggestions or if they get like, less seen, then obviously they're gonna get less views and then therefore they're gonna get less money. So yes, a lot of creators get very upset about this algorithm change. And what is your perception of the algorithm problem?
There are some channels and there are some companies that rely solely on their ability to create. And by having things demonetized by an algorithm that's not even like, I think, a person, it's pretty dangerous because they're losing their livelihood.
So based on what you're saying, when there's algorithm changes, this is really bad. This hurts channels, right?
Well, the reason why the algorithm's there is because it's really hard to actually manually do all the overseeing. So they created this thing to kind of help them oversee it for them. But the thing is that program makes a lot of mistakes.
Sure.
And the guidelines around the rules aren't really properly communicated many times between the creators and the algorithm itself, or the people that are creating the algorithm. For example, the H3 and Jimmy Kimmel, they had this whole thing regarding the tragedy. The algorithm says, oh, we can't do sponsors on tragedies. And Jimmy Kimmel being had ads on it, and there was literally the exact same caption.
Right.
So there's kind of a discrepancy between what they're saying is okay and then like what is not.
YouTube, when it puts just generic ads on videos, then yes, they have to abide by these generic rules. But Jimmy Kimmel, for example, has their own sales team. They already have clients that are like, we're okay with you putting our commercial over anything you say. So it's a predetermined agreement. So that's why that argument doesn't really work. And that's why sometimes like when I see like these drama channels like make a big fuss about it, it's like you're misinforming actually the people, like the truth of what is actually happening. That's my one gripe about it, is that ultimately it still comes down to like sensationalism a little bit.
But then that sensationalism needed to happen to uncover what was actually going on, right?
That's true. In terms of like how they want to run their algorithm is basically their business plan for that quarter, right? And so YouTube has every right as a company to just change that strategy. I think what the problem is that they don't do a good job communicating what those changes are and why. And then because there's creators that this is their livelihood, they get very angry at the slightest change when honestly like they don't necessarily have a say in it. When you sign up for YouTube to be a creator, are you really reading the policies and all that terms of and agreements? Like everyone just clicks that, but that's literally you buying into, you know what? I want to be part of this rev share thing, and whatever algorithm changes, I'm going to accept.
I do recognize that it's a business and they're all doing it for the clicks and for the views. Also, I feel like if they're not supporting the creators are just gonna start leaving, or at the very least, they're not gonna be able to fund their high quality content anymore. And the whole space itself will just it'll slowly die off if it doesn't actually like have creators that love the platform.
Yeah, I see that point. I think like Wes and I just went to the Creator Summit, and it's basically YouTube's big event. They invite like hundreds of their top creators to just come to this one conference, and they literally bring in the top like executives of YouTube, and they do a Q&A, which is like, this is the stuff that they don't even do for like their shareholders in some way. There was a very negative air in the room because everyone was like, why are you guys doing this? This is bad. You're doing
It became
this
like
to
the
us."
roast of YouTube.
Yeah, and it's like, and I at the very end, like I got like very kind of fed up, and I grabbed the mic during the Q&A, and I think one thing that people in the room forgot or chose not to discuss, there was a shooting at YouTube literally like a month prior, right?
Wow, yeah.
And the reason why that there was a shooting is because there was a creator. Obviously, she was crazy, like, from the get-go, but still, she saw it as like, YouTube, like, you're hurting me, you're demonetizing me. That was her motive to go and shoot up the place. And I'm like, I worry that the talk of like, oh, YouTube's like hurting us, YouTube's like out to get us, it can actually radicalize some of these crazy people to see that YouTube is actually trying to do this. So we should be careful of like the messaging that we're putting out there to the fans that might not understand the real situation. But then also that they forget so easily that there's like humans behind it, and that like they are still really trying, I guess. It's okay if we want to be critical of them, as long as we first acknowledge like it's still a really great platform.
There's a lot of like this side and the other side. There are three parties in this system. It's the creator, it's the platform, which is YouTube in a sense, and then it's the advertiser. It's like a Mexican standoff
and the viewers.
And the viewers.
Oh yeah.
And the viewers, so it's a four-way.
Four-way
It's one of these things in a John Woo movie.
It's a parallel. Yeah.
But like, I mean, just to kind of like segue into a different topic here, like demonetization. We talk about like, everyone wanting to get paid. What is your take on the demonetization?
It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of manpower.
Yeah.
And to have something that you really care about, that you put all your effort into, and you have all this funding to do, and you're expecting to, make a good living off of that, which I think is valid because you're bringing a lot of views, a lot of ad money to YouTube by doing that. Yeah. And for them to demonetize your video, and also incorrectly sometimes, I think it's kind of really dangerous.
I think that incorrectly is a valid, concern.
The algorithm's not perfect.
Yeah, but I think the thing is that when they get it wrong, it's a valid concern. But honestly, a lot of channels, they like to see what they can get away with. I mean, yeah, we work really hard on our videos too, but we also know the platform that we're playing on, and it's kind of like, the rules. And I think actually 90% of the creators are like this, which is like, oh, like these are the rules, I'm gonna stay within the rules. But then there's 10% that are like, oh, those are the rules, I'm gonna try to like cause trouble, I'm gonna try to like game the system.
It's like going to school and there's a dress code. And people are like, you know what? I know the dress code, but I'm gonna try to wear this today. And you might get in trouble for that. So you know the rules.
See, Brandon's the type that he would be the ones that like, fuck the system. I'm gonna wear like short skirt, instead.
But leggings, jeggings, not short skirts.
Let's not like oversimplify. This algorithm is a big thing. It has a long tail. So for something to change and for all the content to be like covered in that change, if there was a mistake made, it takes a lot of people and a lot of time. And it might not get to your video as soon as someone else's, but it's getting there. And I think for people to think that instantaneously, the magic will fix everything, like it's kind of unrealistic. And I'm not trying to like defend YouTube, I'm just saying like there are processes here that we don't really know that's doing this.
I'm defending YouTube. Their communication, that there's still flaws, but I think that we should be doing at least equal amounts of praise as the criticism, because it's lopsided in terms of how much benefits the world has and each of these creators have because YouTube exists versus like, oh, like I got demonetized. Like honestly, like a lot of these channels, they cry foul, and I just think it's very dangerous to like only tell your fans and your audience how bad this thing is, because it's going to sensationalize and radicalize maybe some of them that were already on the verge of doing something crazy, like the shooter.
It's the same thing as cable TV too. The way the news is set up. If you just watch like one channel, it's very sensationalized. It almost feels like you're watching, you know, a sports network or like a drama YouTube channel at this point.
Since cable TV is really limited in like the information that you're getting, it's kind of what they're doing to the YouTube space in the sense of cutting off a lot of indie makers. And so they're not getting everyone's voice through, only kind of highlighting these top paid voices.
If that were really the case, then YouTube would be like falling like really rapidly right now. But the thing is like YouTube is actually still growing. There are certain creators that are very mad about the situation. So like everyone's focused on that. Yeah, YouTube's going bad, YouTube's all this. But the reality is that there are tons of new creators every day that are like blowing up.
Yeah.
And the algorithm's actually helping them. We even at the Creator Summit, I'm like, who are all these people? And everyone's like, yeah, I have 10 million subscribers. Who are you? Just like TV has different seasons of shows. Some shows on YouTube, it's like after a while the fans are like, oh, I'm kind of over this, I'm not gonna watch anymore. So it's not even all the algorithm's fault, it's like some people just kind of grow out of things.
YouTube to me is the public library. Anyone can write a book. Anyone that wants to look for that book, they can find it here at our public library. Sometimes we're gonna change the layout of our library. They're all gonna be there still. And if you're looking for them, you can find them. But would you rather not have that book in the library to be shared?
If they were gonna like take all my favorite books and put it where the bathroom's at, under the water fountain, with like a plastic bag over it, so no one ever sees like the books that I actually enjoy, I'm just gonna go to Amazon and like buy a used copy.
Then it's a question of like, why did they do that? Because they're not maliciously doing that. It's because it's questionable or sensitive, but it's still there.
And I would also say sometimes it's because maybe those could be paid content as well. Like in all the trending page, the top 5 is all commercials.
Well, I would say it costs money to house a huge library, to run a huge library and pay people to work it.
I think that's the thing, like ultimately, they're still allowing the video to be on there. They're not saying like you can't even have the book in the library. They're just, like they're actually spending their own money to keep the book housed there. True censorship or true like we don't like the creators is like burn the book where your book's not allowed in here.
That's a thin line though. Like when you say true censorship, putting the book, putting the video under the sink, whatever, any percentage of censorship is still censorship, right? Because in theory that video or whatever should have like an equal opportunity to, you know.
Right. Then the question goes to, well, doesn't YouTube have the right to do that? So certain things I think in this world have the right to censor their brand, whatever, like their identity. Like I would argue that YouTube has the right to do that.
I think they have all the right to do that. If they start losing numbers and viewers because of what they're doing to their creators, I'm expecting that to happen if they continue doing that.
I think YouTube is so privileged that we all get to even use. Maybe it's because I come from like the old days when I remember when there's no YouTube. Oh, anyone can use this platform and it's free and now we get paid?
Well, in the older days, there was nothing really like that where you could put out your own content and like have that be your source of income. But now, like that's like a real job for a lot of people.
So you're saying because it's a standard?
Because it's now in this generation, like that's something that people actually like strive to do. They go to like art school to do film school to actually like accomplish their YouTube channel. And when that's like pulled under the rug, it's like I understand their anger.
Maybe I still have like the old man mentality of like, well, in my day it was you should just be happy you have shoes to walk to school.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Whereas like kids are like, no. Like grandpa,
this is a real job.
Yeah, we have shoes. We should just have better shoes now.
Everyone's got an iPhone.
Right, or we should have roads now. You know, like, so maybe that's what's shifting and I'm still like...
It's an old perspective versus a new one, for sure.
Obviously this was a very big topic. It was nice because it was like kind of like the first time in a while that we've had like very differing opinions, and I actually feel like there's way more to dive into this because actually like Benson has a YouTube channel, guys. And as a smaller creator, these issues actually affect you in a different way. But no, obviously, like there's so much to unpack here. For now, thank you, Brandon, for being here. And
thank you for having me. Thank you for the food, by the way.
Yeah.
I love Loco Moco.
Follow him on his social. He's got tons of stuff going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also check him out on Yappy, coming this summer.
And also, if you have any little brothers or sisters, or if you guys watch a lot of like Nicktoon for kids, catch me on Shimmer and Shine, which is a genie cartoon show that I have some cameos on.
You heard it first. Wong Fu Lunch Break exclusive. Get our merch so we don't have to rely on AdSense.
And smash that like button.
Yeah. And click that bell.
Yeah, ring that bell.
If it's already clicked, don't click it again.
No, people turn it off.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
Later, guys.